Hello, my name's Mchokoliso Tembo. I'm an energy and infrastructure consultant. Just thought I should say a few things about the current energy crisis, as we are calling it. So the crisis is here with us, and it's something which is not new. We had it about 8 years or 10 years ago, 2014. I think we had this 2016. This crisis is largely driven by, I would say, a lack of investment in the energy sector. But currently, it's more driven by the drought which we're having, because I would say we have a diversification problem. We have not diversified much from the hydropower, and the bulk of the hydropower comes from one region, which is the southern, which seems to have been, over the years, more prone to drought or lack of rainfall. So that is where this crisis is coming. So enough of history. What is the way forward? We need to look at a number of things. A lot of these things have to do with policy, and the policy would be around investment and restructuring the sector. Around investment, what are we saying? I think we can see that government is not able to currently fund the whole energy sector. And this is not new to Africa or to Zambia, Africa, or any other country. You do need the private sector to supplement. Just, of course, the private sector will normally come for a return on investment, and at times you need to regulate how much you do give them. The way to invite the private sector is to make the sector more attractive. The private sector flows like water. It goes to the place which accepts it the most. So when you make it more attractive, you're going to be getting more, you're going to bring in more people. I think we need to look into that. So it's looking to diversify the sector into other areas like coal, solar, wind, if it's viable, and other options, biofuels, and that kind of thing. We also need to find ways of having a policy, doing our policies to improve the attractiveness of the sector to the private group, to the private investors, that is. That is what we need to look at. Other areas of interest that we need to look at is government is already pursuing an open access regime. What is open access, you may ask? Allowing various peoples to come into the country, or into the sector, produce power and sell to whoever they want. And we need to find a way of fast-tracking these policies and ensuring this thing starts working. So there's a lot of work for the Ministry of Energy and the Energy Regulation Board to do in that regard. What else do we need to do? We need to also look at the perception of the country and Zesco. Zambia is currently struggling with the debt crisis, and I think we're making good progress in the restructuring talks. Zesco on its part also has quite a lot of debt which they need to resolve, and they're also making some progress. But we need to really look at this and hasten it, because I see a lot of interest in the country, but there's people, some investors are skeptical about Zesco's creditworthiness and also the current debt situation in the country. So these are areas we need to work on. We need to make the place more attractive. And because this crisis has come at a bad time when we're also doing the debt restructuring, it makes the cost of capital much, much higher than it is in other countries, or than it would have been without this current crisis. So these are things we need to attend to find a way of bringing down or trying to bring in power at a cheaper rate, but are trying to address the issues or around perception of the sector. So I think I would make a clarion call. They say every crisis presents an opportunity. We need to get together and look at all the things doing, and we need to have a brutal, frank talking of what needs to be fixed. What needs to be fixed as far as government policy, what needs to be fixed as far as how Zesco is operating, what needs to be fixed as far as the Energy Regulation Board, what needs to be fixed as far as how private sector comes in. They should not be allowed to have a free hand and make profits above normal. There should be some form of regulation, because this is a monopolistic market and they will tend to have a stronger power. That is the only way to go forward. The crisis is here and we need to fix it. And Rome was not built in a day. Nothing good is easy to put together. We need to make some sacrifice, and the sacrifice may come in us becoming more energy efficient and accepting higher tariffs. For instance, currently, if the Zambian populace was willing, people could come and dock ships on the coast or fly in diesel generators, put them in the country, and power the country using diesel. But that would drive up the crisis, the current tariff, by 7 to 8 times, if not more. So these are all the questions we need to have. Who can afford that power? Do we want to go this route? Or do we want to wait for the rains to come back, then go back to sleep and hope we won't have another drought, and in 4 years' time we have a drought and we're back at the same level? Thank you very much.